Bucks got a lead, Ironhead.
You're darn right they do. We welcome you, and in fact, we welcome you with open arms on this Thursday afternoon to another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. You say that like you're surprised that the Pirates have a lead. It's Thursday afternoon at Quaker Steak and Lube. What else would be happening but the Pirates winning yet another game? As long as they just keep playing these Thursday afternoon affairs,
they're on fire.
we're going to be in good shape. It's the other 6 days of the week that seem to be haunting the Pirates, and I suspect will continue to haunt them throughout the 2021 campaign. But, Thursday afternoons, good times for the beloved Bucks. Absolutely correct. Won the season opener and clearly well on their way to a dominating home opening victory today over those same despised Chicago Cubs.
As long as the Cincinnati Reds don't show up.
Yes.
That was a 4-touchdown win they had over that series, by the way.
Yeah, that was absolutely brutal, pitiful, awful. Whatever, however you want to put it, as a Pirates fan. Unfortunately, I suspect that is more of what we are going to see throughout the season, unlike what we saw last Thursday. And so far today, Pirates just putting up a 2-spot here to take the 2-1 lead over the Cubs as we came on the air here this afternoon. You want to start anywhere in particular? A couple of things. This Georgia thing, we covered it on Tuesday. I don't necessarily want to rehash it, but the more, at least not in its entirety, but I want to touch on it again because the more that is coming out, the more you are learning just how unbelievably poorly thought out this decision was by Major League Baseball. And it makes listen. I don't think Rob Manfred is an idiot. I mean, I really don't. You don't get to that position. It's easy. People all the time. Oh, the commissioner of this sport or the commissioner of that conference. He's an idiot. He's not an idiot. But in this particular situation, this is an idiotic decision, there's zero substance behind it at the end of the day, and that is, beyond frustrating for somebody like me because I'm a political creature. I love following politics. I'm a sports creature. I love following sports. But I really do enjoy watching sports in part because I like getting away from it, right? Like, you can't be consumed 24/7 by anything. I don't care how much you love something. You need a little time to just escape or, whatever. Just a little downtime from whatever it is that's going on. And sports, and I get it. This is not a new phenomenon. I understand that. But I wish we could somehow start working our way back from expecting the sports world to be where we air our political grievances and get reactions to political grievances. And again, I go into it with eyes wide open. I'm not expecting that that's going to change anytime soon. It's not going to change in my lifetime, but I still long for it, right? I just wish that these commissioners, and especially in situations where, it is not anywhere near as cut and dried as what was being made out by one side of the political spectrum. And it's just frustrating because, as many are pointing out now, after the fact, the people that you are saying you want to help and serve, you are crushing. I mean, absolutely destroying with this decision. And again, it just is, on one hand, not surprising given the knee-jerk reactionary society that we're living in. On the other hand, it really is, if not surprising, disappointing to me that we don't have a little bit of forethought. And hey, let's sit down and reasonably discuss with everybody involved here what is yes, and
he went ahead to avoid that,
and that's the very frustrating thing to me,
to avoid any kind of backlash or any kind of
And listen,
argument.
I go through this with it's disappointing to me because it is an ongoing lack of leadership. And I'm not talking about lack of leadership in Major League Baseball, although in this particular case, that is what we're talking about. I'm just talking about a lack of leadership in general. I'll bring it, and I just needed to get some of this off my chest, so bear with me. I apologize. I'm not meaning to hijack the program today, but we had a situation locally when Don Hahn in State College here. Don Hahn was the mayor, and there was a sale of a property where the Skeller used to be, and it became this big to do with folks that were supporters of the old owners of the Skeller and very vocal, and this was the most awful thing in the world. And Don Hahn, the mayor, and again, I'm not really trying to throw Don Hahn under the bus here. It's just an ongoing example of the lack of leadership. So Don Hahn, instead of calling the Herlockers and the new owners and saying, hey, what are you planning to do? What's going to be going on here? And again, this is the mayor. You'd think at the very least, hey, pick up the phone. Somebody that's been as active as the Herlockers have been in downtown State College. This isn't like a huge ask. Pick up the phone, say, hey, what's going on? Instead, Don Hahn comes out and throws gasoline on the fire. And, well, if it's a Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm not going there. I'm going to go outside of the borough, even though I'm the mayor of the borough. Well, great. But the Buffalo Wild Wings was never even considered, never something talked about. Why go there when you have the ability to reach out and talk? And across the board in our society, and I'm not saying that at the end of the day, everybody would sit down and, okay, we've talked this out and now we all agree and we have the game plan moving forward. We're going to have widely varying opinions out there, but let's at least, can we not expect of leaders, and for that matter, of citizens in general, that if you have an issue or a perceived issue, that you at least pick up the telephone or email, for God's sake. In today's society, you don't even have to have the direct conversation. You can email or text, hey, give me the lowdown of what your perspective is here. At least get some sense of what's happening before we react and throw information out there that it just doesn't help the cause at all. And it's just, again, there are very few folks that I consider leaders anymore on any side of the political spectrum because they're not willing to sit down and just talk. And again, I'm not saying you need to sit down and talk and reach an agreement, right? There are certain issues where we could talk all day long and you're never going to convince me to change from my position. I'll never convince you to change from your position. But let's at least talk. And at the end of the day, again, if we agree to disagree, so be it. But man, we won't even do that anymore. Nope. It's nope, by God, I'm going to. And half the time, more than half the time, these folks are taking positions that are not rooted in reality. And that becomes an even bigger problem. And when you have, as consistently as we do, leaders, just so-called leaders, refusing to do, again, just basic due diligence on at least understanding, okay, this is what's happening. And again, if at the end of the day you want to make that decision, so be it. But then you at least do it eyes wide open. Hey, I'm going to be affecting a lot of minority-owned businesses, a lot of folks that are relying on trying to get their paychecks back here coming out of the pandemic era, and I'm yanking the rug out from under them. And again, if you think that's a just cause, so be it. But the lack of understanding here, and when you look at the Colorado laws versus what is happening in Georgia, God bless you, because there is absolutely no sensical reason for this to have occurred.
Are you saying that?
And again, it's just very, very frustrating. Okay. I just had to get that.
He took the high road and he just said, okay, we'll get rid of it, tried to get rid of the issue before it became an issue and blew up in his face because it is a major issue. It's just stupid on his part. There's no doubt. And then what you just said, looking at Colorado, looking at Georgia, it's the exact same it's worse. I mean,
Well, if
there's
anything,
stricter
yeah.
laws.
Yeah.
And I just don't know what, I mean, other than him not wanting any kind of confrontation is the only thing I can think of in that regard. But, whatever. Let's talk about how good of a prognosticator I am for college basketball.
All right, let's fire off
Did
on
I
that.
not say that Baylor-Houston game was going to be an absolutely gem of a game on Saturday, and then I said that UCLA and Gonzaga was going to be a horrible game?
Yeah,
So completely
double-digit
reversed all
victory
that
easily
stuff.
for Gonzaga. Yeah.
Unbelievable games. The second one was unbelievable. And then I have an honest question for you. Baylor, they struggled against Villanova. They were down 10 at half, but they ended up winning by 5 or 6. That was probably one of the most dominating performances I've ever seen from a basketball team going through, just
from start to finish,
destroying a tournament.
Yeah,
I mean, just devouring and devastating everybody.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it on Tuesday, but
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know.
Well, no. But in that championship game, I don't remember it. There's probably been other games. Again, I don't follow it closely enough or have the recollection, but I don't remember a game where right from the outset you felt like one team was just clearly better. Again, it wasn't that you didn't think Gonzaga might make a run, but it's just every time they got back-to-back baskets, right? they got 4. It felt like it was such a monumental achievement and such an effort to just do that that it never felt like they were really going to make a run. And again, I think pretty early in the second half, most people watching, I think, had that same feeling that, hey, this is just not going to be Gonzaga's night.
You can remember one game like that. That would be the 30-point UNLV victory over Duke in 1990 or 89 or 91, one of them.
And Duke never got over that. Duke, that program
it only took
suffered the consequences of that for a year.
To come back from that. But yes, that's exactly what it reminded me of, and just a thorough it was men amongst boys out there. And I don't know how tired Gonzaga was from that overtime game against UCLA. I mean, guys were cramping at the end of the game. You saw guys laying on the ground getting massages and stuff like that. So they were beat down pretty good. And they had run through the tournament very good until that UCLA game, which was probably one of the best games I've seen in a long time, man. And just the whole thing, and especially how it ended was amazing.
Yeah.
But, so
both
Booch,
those teams.
Did we figure out who won, Booch? Was it Mailman he won over the overall? Booch, I have to say, picked Baylor to win it.
Oh, yeah, he let us know about that.
One of his 11 victories in the whole tournament. He was 11-52. And he talks all kinds of jive because he picked Baylor to win the title. So I think
that's part of the game.
Yes, I picked 33 of wins in that tournament. That's just a dominating performance by me. And I should literally turn we should become a political talk show, because we shouldn't use the word sports behind our names anymore, Ironhead. But it was good. It was fun to watch, and I just wanted to get my 2 cents in there. Just that was. I can't believe how bad I did picking that tournament. And even just like the individual games, talking last week, how we were looking for. I mean, I could not have been wrong on more cases than anything in my life. Well, maybe my first marriage, but just wrong in every category, in every corner, I'd say. My original Final Four was amazing. I had 4 Big Ten teams. You weren't on that show.
No,
I had 4 Big Ten teams when I came down to it, and I was looking. I was like, I can't do this. So the one team I picked out, Michigan, went the farthest. Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah, it was amazing. But hats off to Baylor, and again, it was certainly a well-earned championship.
Yes, did it sting you as much to hear somebody say that we had beat Baylor for the NIT title?
Yeah, it's
and where we're at in basketball and where they're going right now. So
yeah, and a lot of the kids now making their decisions, and I just certainly willing to see how Shrewsbury does, and I'm it's nothing against him. It just this just feels like we are. We, the Penn State community, are back at square one, where It feels like we're Gonzaga at the start of the second half playing Baylor again, and it feels like we've been there for a long time. Where the effort, right? It's a gritty effort. You can feel Gonzaga doing everything it can to try to get back into it, and the climb, to use the Pat Chambers phrase. The climb is just too great, and again, to be starting over when you look at where this program was, toward the end of last year, and the talent and the experience and the recruiting inroads. And again, I get it. I'm pleased with the hire, and the name's escaping me right now, but the assistant coach who's got a great recruiting track record. Again, I'm certainly willing to give them time. Maybe this thing just clicks right out of the gate. But boy, it feels like it's it's going to be a 5 or 6 year process.
See,
again,
I haven't. I think that they can manipulate the
transfer portal.
I mean, Pat didn't have that opportunity, in my opinion. He couldn't go out and get 3 or 4 guys that were already proven stars who were wanting to transfer from their school. You know what I mean? So
I guess my question:
3 or 4 guys right now, get them over this dead period. It will be a dead period in basketball. And say, hey, let's go. Let's roll it out there. We may catch fire next year.
Yeah, a couple of things, and listen, I love to be an optimist, so I can buy into that as far as it goes. But a couple of things. One is, if that's the route, and it almost has to be the route, right? I mean, Penn State has to get at least a couple of transfers in, or this is going to be, I mean, a brutal upcoming season. But in terms of getting impact players, right, you still... And again, maybe Shrewsbury is going to be and this staff will just recruit like crazy, and that includes the transfers, and that's certainly a possibility. That has to be what you're hanging your hat on and your hope on right now if you're a Penn State fan. But it's still Penn State in basketball, and the lack of tradition, the lack of support from the administration over the years. I mean, these kids talk and they see what's happening, and they know that there may be a multitude of reasons that the kids are leaving, the ones that have been in the program, but part of it is, right, that they're not seeing this as a place where you can have instant success. So I think, again, maybe you do catch lightning in a bottle. Maybe you get 2 or 3 kids that are just the right fit, and they come in. But I think it's going to be difficult to get the impact players that you're talking about that Penn State will need in a conference like the Big Ten, given what has transpired here over the last couple of years, coupled with what has transpired here over the last however many decades you want to go back. The other part is you have a new coach, right? A new coaching staff, and now you're going to have all new. I mean, I get some players, Isaiah Brockington, and there will be some players holding over, but not a lot. So you're not having a group that's really comfortable already together. So you have a new staff and these new players coming in from other programs. I just think that's a tall order to try to get a group like that, an eclectic, even if it is, even if they get great talent, I think melding that together, again, in a conference like the Big Ten in a season is a very tall order.
Well, there is one name in the transfer portal. Booch, I want to see his reaction on this. Rasir Bolton is now in the transfer portal
that
for his 4th college in 3 years.
Yep.
And I believe it's his 8th different school in 9 years. From high school. Yeah, pretty much. Rasir he was their leading scorer at Iowa State this year, 15.5 points, and he's leaving. I just don't understand. It's just what he does, I guess. And for those who don't know the name, he is the one that accused Pat of the statement and some other things that were said and apologized for, but brought back up when a lot of racial turmoil started in this country, and I believe Pat was a victim of all of that. So, it's just funny that, because that was the issue that, that was going on. I mean, the kid had gone to 5 high schools in 4 years, and now it's his 4th college in 3 years. It's like, okay, when is it going to be on the player here? When is it going to be about that, and not about the coaches or, oh well, he has the right to do that. I mean, it's insane to even think about it. 9 schools in 8 years. It's just crazy. I mean, it's insane. I mean, the thought of it. I mean, to think that the grass is not always greener, man. And then there's any kind of adversity, kids just run away from it nowadays, and it just makes me ill, absolutely ill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how you been, Iron?
Yeah, sometimes the grass is just brown, like our yard.
Exactly.
It just never gets any better.
3 dogs outside peeing on it. It's not going to stay green all the time.
It just was what happens.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Real quick too, with I had a couple people asking about Brady Berge, and listen, if you didn't see, he's I think very understandably made the decision. I'm disappointed just because I really think he was on track, and again, I'd never be able to prove it, but I think he was like truly legitimately in the hunt for a national title this year, and I think with the knee injury and what I was told about it, I think he would have been back. I did not require surgery, and I think he if his mind was focused on it, I think again he would have been right there in contention next season. That being said, I completely get it. I mean, this kid, has been through more than any kid should have to go through, and there's a lot of not good history for him with the I shouldn't say with the sport, with some people in the sport, not at Penn State and not with the college experience, but just some things that he's battling from younger days, I think still to get his mind around. Yeah. And then, the head injuries, and we just had and and he's going to graduate. He is an extremely bright kid. He's going to be successful in life in every regard.
Yet. I mean, he stepped away as of right now.
Yeah, I think it is though. Okay. I mean, I really, you're right. I mean, it's the door is open. I just I really think he sat down, and I don't think this was a knee jerk reaction to.
I'll give you 2 examples.
Yep.
Sorry.
No.
I saw Devin Still. I was a coach when Devin Still tore his knee up as a freshman. I trained him every day for a year. He was rehabbing, then I train him and this and that, and then sure as hell he goes into camp the next year and blows the other knee out, breaks his leg or does it just. And you could just see the look in his eyes, knowing what's ahead of him because he had just gone through it for 10 months.
Yep.
And the exact same thing I saw with Mike Marty. You know what I mean? When he was getting driven off in that golf cart, the devastation in his face was like, it wasn't that my senior year's over. It was, oh my God, I got to do this all over again, because you know how hard it is mentally and physically to come back from something like that. And you know exactly what it is because you had just gone through it. And in Mike's case, he had gone through it twice, and that was his 3rd time. So, I mean, you could sit there and say, well, Brady's had 2 or 3 weeks to figure this out now, and his head's clear, and that's the way he's going to go. And he's had enough time to say, okay, I'm going to fight through this. And some guys are just like, you know what? I mean, he did fight through the concussion thing. I mean, he battled. I mean, it was a struggle for him to get back, right?
Big time.
Yeah.
He's just a. There's just certain kids that come through the program over the years. For a wide variety of reasons. Some just have fun, different personalities, and you get to know them. And the kids that aren't national champions or even All-Americans that to the day I go to my grave, I'll remember them as just special people for again a wide variety of reasons. And Brady will just always be one of those. That kid just has a special place in my heart.
But he seems like a kind of kid who might be able to be a coach.
Yeah, he definitely.
He's been through a lot of the pitfalls and downsides of this, and he's risen to the top. And I mean, I wonder if he would, if that's like in his future. You say he's like that type of kid.
Yeah.
You could just see that. I mean, it would be the perfect opportunity for him to. I mean, look who he's learning from. For God, I mean, that staff at Penn State right now. what they're doing and how people are competing and all that
Yep.
stuff. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. I mean, what they're coaching, 3 of our 6 Olympians.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll start talking about that eventually.
On the men's freestyle side, 4 overall with
gracious.
Yeah, and and again, I think. I think as we move forward, I mean, for years we've talked about the Iowa effect, or really more accurately, the Gable effect on college wrestling, and the number of former that are still very active in the college coaching ranks, former Dan Gable wrestlers
now Ironhead
that have gone on, and I'm just telling you, down the road, in another 10 years, I think you're going to see similar types of numbers of former Penn Staters. For a couple of reasons. One is, again, when you're successful, that's what happens. It just breeds success. But the kids that Cale has recruited, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, but it just is a fact. One of the big reasons for the ongoing success here is that they are recruiting kids that are just absolutely in love with the sport, are passionate about the sport of wrestling. And when you look at what these guys do and the way in which they do it, the enthusiasm that they bring, it's infectious, it's contagious, and I do think you're going to see a lot of these guys go onto the coaching ranks. That being said, they also, a lot of these guys are really bright and driven, and a lot of them are going to look for success in careers where they can make even more money than you can in college coaching.
Yep.
And so, I'm not sitting here telling you that, everybody that was successful on the mat is just going to carry it over, because I think a lot of these guys, again, after their competitive careers are over, I think, again, a lot of them will get into coaching. But I think a lot also are going to say, listen, I can translate this and my expertise that I gained in the classroom at Penn State, combined with the work ethic and the passion that I have for life in general,
yes,
here from Penn State into success in other endeavors as well.
So my next question to you, Ironhead.
Yep.
When is a heavyweight savage stud going to be named Sanderson? First name Sanderson. You're bringing up the Gable effect.
Yeah.
All right, dude. That guy is an absolute stud.
I will tell you that there's already a number of Cales that are out there.
There is.
Throughout, I mean, and because of, I mean,
there's
yes.
no doubt. I mean, I laugh at watching sports nowadays. You see a ton of Shaquille's or Shaq.
Yeah.
A lot of guys like that, and a lot of Jalen's, for Jalen Rose and Juwan Howard and the Fab Five era. That's about the time when these guys are now in their professional ranks. I always find that funny, but there is Cales.
Oh yeah.
Are they wrestling? I mean, is he?
Oh yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Making sure. I mean, are they as savage as Gable Stevenson?
No.
Dude, I'm just sitting there watching him wrestle. What is it? Wiatkowski?
Yeah, Nick Wiatkowski. Yeah.
Dude, that guy is great.
Like phenomenal.
So I'm watching him with the no headgear on, and they're slapping each other like they're like grizzly bears, and I'm like, dude, that's like 3 concussions. Like, boom, boom. I mean, his hands look so freaking heavy, and he's just boom, boom.
No, he makes it.
But Jesus,
he makes it look so easy. I really am pumped about the Olympics this summer for a wide variety of reasons. But on the wrestling front, and listen, I've been excited before and been disappointed with the overall performance. So I get it. There's nothing guaranteed for a wide variety of reasons as well, right? First of all, there's a lot of great wrestlers throughout the world, and sometimes as American sports fans, we get myopic, and understandably so. I mean, I think whatever country you're living in, right? You're familiar with your stars, and you just kind of presume that's probably about as good as it gets. But the other, there's political, elements here to the Olympic Games and the World Championships still. So that is also an ongoing battle as well. But I really do think this is going to be a special Olympics for U.S. freestyle wrestling. I mean, I really think that there will be 4 or 5 medalists, and I truly believe we could have 3 or 4 gold when it's all said and done. That Kyle Dake, David Taylor, obviously Kyle Snyder, and then Gable Stevenson. I'm going to have to see somebody beat him the way he's wrestling right now before I believe that he can be beaten. And again, I get it. None of these guys are guaranteed to even medal, let alone win gold. But boy, I tell you, it's going to take something special, I think, to beat any of those 4 here on the world stage this summer.
And I know Oliver is not fully committed on the team yet.
He's not qualified. That weight class isn't qualified for the Olympics yet. He is. No, he's experienced, and hopefully,
I don't think guys like him.
He's learned some lessons. Well,
did you notice that? Like, guys have respect for each other, and this and that. No one shakes hands with that guy, unless he doesn't do it either. Though.
Yeah, I mean,
tough.
He had the failed drug test, and that's still. It's just one of those things that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Again, hopefully, and with as much as they're tested, you certainly think that he's been able to get that turned around here, and but yeah, I mean, he's got to get the weight qualified first, and then go out and put together a tournament. But he certainly has the experience.
So the picture of the 18 wrestlers and the coaches all in their cowboy hats and stuff like that. So I actually just did the freestyle team with all the Penn State guys on it, and Schneider and Stevenson and all.
Yep.
And it looks like the 1980 hockey team where everybody's got a freaking beard and they're wearing cowboy hats. I'm like, it looks like 1980 again. I mean, is Mike Ruzioni carrying the flag out for
the good old
guys?
days?
It's hilarious because if you remember that was Olympics, they were wearing cowboy hats, and that's what they had on down in Fort Worth. So I found that hilarious, and everybody was bearded up.
Yep. No, it was it was pretty interesting. Masters, of course, underway today, and it is. It's hard to believe. It doesn't seem like it was a year since the last Masters, does it? Boy, the years just go by fast, don't they?
It was right around my birthday, so hell. Oh, my God, I'm going to be 49 now? Oh, my God, I don't want to talk about it.
But we're back on schedule. And there is something, I don't know. We've talked about this, I think, before, too. But there is just something special about certain sporting events, and you don't have to be a golf fan to have some appreciation for the Masters. You don't have to be a horse racing fan to have some appreciation for the Kentucky Derby.
Yep.
You don't have to be a football fan to have appreciation for the Super Bowl. There's just certain big events that are just bigger than others because of what it is and the history surrounding it. And this is always Sunday at the Masters. Even as a little kid, and I was not a golfer, I was a sports junkie, but golf was not something I followed on with any regularity. But man, Sunday at the Masters, I mean, you always had it awesome. Tuned in. It's like, man, I want to check this out and see what's happening. And as we continue to search for normalcy, trying to come out of the pandemic.
Another example of it getting back to normal.
Yeah, at least taking steps in the right direction.
You know what I did last night, Ironhead?
I'm not sure I want to know what you did last night, to be perfectly honest with you.
We did a Masters draft last night.
Yeah.
Ready for this?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready.
And I sat at a bar.
Did you really?
How you doing?
Wow.
Yeah, how you doing?
Wow.
I sat at a bar.
Look at you.
With my wife and about 8 other people, and we had our Masters draft. At a bar.
It's a beautiful thing, Goon.
It was unbelievable. I was talking to people, and guess what? We didn't have to wear masks. Sitting at the
Life is good.
And the beer was cold. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But I just sat back, and I just sat there, and I looked around, and I said, it's been a while since I sat at the bar. I had a good time like that.
If anybody asks, I'm excited about getting my vaccine shot on Saturday, too.
Are you?
Yeah, I am getting the shot.
Are you getting the Johnson & Johnson
I'm getting
shot?
the Johnson & Johnson, yep.
So what arm?
That I don't know.
I'm gonna wear that thing out.
That I do not know. They can they can have the arm of their choice.
I'm not allowed to. I can't get it yet. I can only have 90 days since you had it, so that's like the window, I guess, which is good. And I figured by mid-May, when it's 90 days, I feel as if there's not going to be a real rush. There's no Ironhead's not beating old ladies up to get his vaccine.
Yeah, I'll be pushing people out of the way if I need to. I'm just,
and like
just
we've talked
letting you
about,
know.
it's not for you. It's not for you. It's for you to go see your parents and you feel safe around your parents.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? I mean, I did hear some horror stories of guys just getting zonked out a little bit after taking.
Yeah, it's been really. I mean, I guess like the virus itself, it's been really because yeah. I mean, I know a couple people that were like, I mean, down and out for 3 or 4 days, and then both my parents and both my wife's parents were like, yeah, we didn't really have any issues whatsoever.
Did any of them ever have the COVID?
Not that we know of, no.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing.
I was hearing people who had the COVID are getting shots, and it's affecting them a little bit more.
Is that right?
That's what I've heard. So I'm looking forward to that. Getting that tired,
well,
worn down, beat up feeling. Bucco's down 3-2. Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's a Thursday afternoon. They're fine. They got this.
T. Colby's going to come in and save the game in the 9th, baby.
Teak. Do love Teak. I come in and relieve the candy man. Well, we'll take a break here. We will be back with more of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show right after this.
Lion Country Kia is offering exceptional deals on your new Kia during Kia's Command the Season event.
We have a nice selection on the 2021 Kia Sportage with various options and prices as low as $26,800, saving you $3,000. Or if you demand big power and towing capacity, slip into one of the 2021 Kia Sorrentos available on our lot starting at $32,680.
Discover why Kia drivers throughout the area come to Lion Country Kia or visit online at lioncountrykia.com.
Introducing the new dusted Ghost Pepper at Quaker Steak and Lube. 11,700 SHUs of fire dusted on award-winning wings. Try it, or are you afraid of the heat?
I'm here with Keith, Goon, Conlon, and you've got a little trip you're cooking up for August. Tell us about it.
So we got 4 or 5 ex-football players, Shane Conlon, myself, Troy Drayton, Justin Kirpakis, and Mike Maudie. We're going to go down to Barbados, leave from different airports, 5 days, 4 nights. We got to get our skills ready to go for the football season, so what better way to do it than down in Barbados?
People come along on this trip, what are they going to be doing down there?
Very laid-back atmosphere. We're going to have golfing trips, fishing trips, and then at night, the days are very, very chill, and then at nighttime there'll be cocktail parties and, old viewings of old football games from Penn State. You might be watching the 87 Fiesta Bowl, the 95 Rose Bowl, a private viewing for all the people who are on the trip of Saving Your Roar, which is the 2012 team documentary. So the biggest thing is it is 100% refundable. LionsLegendsTravels.com. Everything is on there. It's $19.95 a person. There's multiple airports, so check in.
Good stuff, Goon. Lions Legends Travel. Check it out.
Hi, Johnny Broom here. If you're in the market for a new Hyundai or a pre-owned car, truck, van, or SUV, nobody beats a Blaze Alexander deal. But don't take my word for it.
Hey, Goon says tell him Johnny sent you.
Hey, tell him Johnny sent ya.
Tell him Johnny sent ya.
Wait, tell him Juan or tell him Johnny sent ya?
Tell him Johnny sent ya.
Here at Bill Pickles Tap Room, we say,
tell him Johnny sent ya.
And remember,
tell him Johnny sent ya.
We welcome you back into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on a very nice Thursday afternoon, and definitely enjoying the weather. Was enjoying the Pirates game more at the start of the show, and enjoying watching the Masters as well. Day 1 of the Masters in Augusta. Oh, Georgia. They're still allowing golf, no all-star baseball.
Oh, by the way,
but golf they'll allow.
Did you not laugh your booty off when it's been announced that Rob Manfred is a member of Augusta National Country Club?
Yeah.
I find that the most funny thing of all time. I forgot to just say that in my my early when Ironhead was going off over here. I was like,
add it to the long list of
I was just like,
absurdities.
my goodness gracious.
Yep.
The hypocrisy. Imagine that word again. It's
yeah,
amazing.
Shocker.
Absolutely amazing. Yes, but I do have a lot. You know this. It's the Masters and you're right. It's the Kentucky Derby. It's the Super Bowl. I mean, it's a one-game affair with those things, but the Masters is a beautiful freaking thing. I love it. I love the history and tradition of it. Not showing the front nine, not coming on until the afternoon, whereas every other golf course, every other golf tournament in the world, you watch every hole of every group. And this guy's an absolute psycho, Bryson DeChambeau. Did you see the video of him on the driving range yesterday?
No, I did not.
Oh, my God. Vijay Singh standing behind him.
Yeah.
And you can just see him with the old man look like, what the hell are you doing, dude? I mean, he was hitting – they said that DeChambeau hit more balls in 5 minutes than Freddie Couples hit in 1 hour on the driving range. He was just going up there ripping. And Freddie was, doing his lead up, his swagger time, and then boom, hitting his stick. But unbelievable. And DeChambeau's not really on right now, so – but it is fun to watch. I love watching these professional guys get humbled, and it's a great course to do it too.
Yeah,
got going on here.
It is amazing to every year just kind of watch what happens to some of the great ones, and then obviously you have people that are putting great weekends together.
What does it do for you? To me, I think like I told you last year, I feel as if it's spring. We've officially ended winter. When you look down and it's everything down there is lush green and in Augusta, and it's beautiful, and it just feels like winter is over. We are finally out of it, and springtime is upon, bud.
Yep, it's a very good thing and a beautiful thing to see for sure as well. And I'm with you. Just as we talked about last year when everything was hitting, sports is just one of the ways those of us that are sports fans, it's a way you mark time, right? Like the NCAA tournament for me, for wrestling every year is huge. And with each passing one, I start to realize, my God, I actually am old now. Because you start to think back, it's like, well, yeah, I've been going to these since, 88 or whatever it may be. And it's like, yeah, there was a time when that was like, I've gone to 5 straight. Now I've gone to whatever it is, 33 or 34 straight. It's like, well, that's a little crazy.
Can I throw a number at you real quick?
But it is, and I'm with you. The Masters just kind of marks that. The first football game every year gets me fired up because I love fall, and a big part of why I love fall, and I do love the foliage, and I love the changing of the weather and the little cooler and all of that. But it's also the fact that you have football, championship baseball. I mean, all of the sports that come together in the fall is also a big part of why I am a fan of that particular season, too.
I agree. I'm with you. So I was thinking the other night, and I was, I remember the Jim Valvano game and Hakeem Olajuwon, and I noticed when they were showing that they were one of the last undefeated teams to lose in the final game.
Yeah.
The Phi Slama Jama, and I forgot. Do you know what name he wore in college on his jersey? Olajuwon did. It just said Akeem on the back of his jersey.
Is that right?
Yeah. I always thought that was hilarious. It was his first name, and then he goes to the NBA and lets them know, hey, by the way, my name is Hakeem, and my last name is Olajuwon, so they put that on the jersey.
Yeah.
I always find every time I see the guy going up for the dunk and you see Akeem in the background, I always thought that was hilarious. But I remember those games. I don't really recall Bird Magic. That was 79, so I'd have been like 6. But the biggest game of my childhood was obviously Villanova, being down in the Philadelphia area. That was 36 freaking years ago, man.
Yeah.
36. So you figure Valvano was 38 years ago. So just the numbers are just getting really, really high in our lives, man. It's insane to think about.
It is. Speaking of insane.
I just invited to my high school reunion this week.
Yeah.
30 years. Did I not tell you this a couple weeks ago? I had an epiphany. And I was like, dude, I played in the 90s. And we used to talk about the 68, 69 team. Like, dude, those guys are old and this and that. Well, the 94 team, we're the 68, 69 team to this current team.
Yeah.
I started thinking about it. I'm like, damn, holy
yeah,
crap.
it is. It's
It's amazing to even think about the difference of 94 to 68, 69
Yep.
is the same distance from now to 1994, 1995.
Yeah.
That's
now,
just
how
nuts.
quickly perspectives can change.
Get off my lawn, Ironhead. Get off.
I hear you loud and clear. Speaking of insane, this Philip Adams story, just a couple things. If you don't know what we're talking about, former NFL player who authorities in Rock Hill, South Carolina, say killed 5 people, including a prominent doctor there, along with the doctor's wife, 2 grandchildren, and a worker at the house before killing himself. I mean, it's a horrible story, and I wish, and again, I understand the era we're living in, and can we just let the facts play out here? I'm listening to a couple of different discussions this afternoon, and we have no idea right now, and maybe it will turn out that it is the case. I'm not saying that this isn't that this is crazy talk. I'm saying let's just wait before we start the CTE discussion in this particular case.
Man. They got to blame something right away
because again, it may play out. The folks that are well, it's another example. It may be. But it may not be. There may be some particular acts for whatever reason that there was to grind here. I mean, it is a horrendous story no matter what. But immediately, I'm listening to people just jump to the – I'm just tired, I guess, of the jumping to conclusions on everything in every matter, even where it ends up being right. Can we just not jump and let the facts – play out, and then yes, if it ends up being that, let's have the ongoing discussion. And I really don't know at this point what what else you can do or you want done. But I'm willing again. Let's talk it through if that's in fact a contributing factor here, or strongly thought to be. But at this point, we have no information indicating either way on that, right? Like, I don't know. It's just driving me crazy.
Three things. You got CTE, you have weaponry, you have mass shootings, and it's just like they have to blame something. Everybody must, and mental illness. So you're just going to jump on one of those 4 things and ride that high horse. It's like, just let it play out. I will give people a lot of credit for this, but there's also people who don't deserve credit. But the Tiger Woods situation, when they came out yesterday and they allowed the police to do their freaking job and say the man was traveling 87 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone and hit a tree going 75 freaking miles an hour. It wasn't a CTE from a golf club his wife hit him with 9 years ago. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't on drugs. He was just speeding. And it was just like they sort of let it go a little bit, but everybody was jumping. If you read the comments, again, social media is the worst thing that ever happened to this country, possibly the world.
Yep,
in my opinion, because it's giving everybody their freaking 2 cents to say whatever they want, and they sit behind their little keyboard and be tough guys.
Yeah, it gives everybody the opportunity to give their 2 cents without being held accountable.
Nothing.
Which is where I think that the real downside is, and. I'm with you.
I think the best word I ever heard was it's a generation of kids who've never had their asses kicked for opening their mouths. When you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Timeout generation versus hey, you know what? You got to back your words up if you're going to say something like that.
Yeah.
High horse off.
The story though is horrific here with this Philip Adams. It's awful that anybody was killed, but it wasn't just the doctor and his wife. Again, there were 2 grandchildren, I think 9 and 5 years old, which is, just makes it exponentially more tragic. And again, they'll unravel, and I'm sure we'll get more detail than we ever should have about this particular case. But I just wish we would just occasionally let things play out before we decide we have to weigh in with what we think might have been a contributing factor. And again, even if it turns out that you're right, you're still wrong for bringing it up before it's established, in my humble opinion. But that's the Deshaun Watson is the same thing. I have zero idea. I mean, I don't know Deshaun Watson from a hole in the wall. I've never had any interaction with him, even in a press conference or anything like that. So I have zero idea, and the numbers in and of themselves doesn't tell me anything. I was reading a different story over the weekend, and then it led me to a story, a link to a story on this Watson case, and there was a person making the case. Well, you can't have this number of people making the claims and the allegations without there being something. And again, I'm not saying one way or the other. I truly have no idea, and I haven't read enough to have any sense of this particular case. It's just not something that has captured my interest.
You're an innocent until proven guilty person. Wow, imagine that.
Well, yes, but I will just say that again, numbers in and of themselves that doesn't impress me. Now, if it's 10 credible stories and they all yes, I mean it can be, but the fact that 100 people are saying the same thing when there is a potential significant payout here, again, either way, it doesn't. I want facts and I want an investigation, and I do understand the issues and the problems when it's he said, she said, and that's why you have to some extent rely on numbers. But the other problem is, and we saw it locally here with the Jerry Sandusky case, is once the story is out there and there is at least a perceived opportunity for money, right? Now you don't know what is driving, whether it's, hey, now that other people are telling their story, I need to tell the truth about what happened to me, and it makes it, I think, probably more difficult for investigators as well as the general public in terms of, okay, let's figure out what really, truly happened here.
Agreed.
We are done for the day. The beloved Pirates, as we go off the air, are trailing 3-2, but undoubtedly on their way to a second victory here on a Thursday afternoon. It's just what the good fortune of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show does for the Pirates. And I'm predicting a Pirates victory, Goon, and we all know this show does not get predictions wrong. We'll talk about how right we were again on Tuesday's show. Until then, be good and be safe.
Lion Country Kia is offering exceptional deals on your new Kia during Kia's Command the Season event.
We have a nice selection on the 2021 Kia Sportage with various options and prices as low as $26,800, saving you $3,000. Or if you demand big power and towing capacity, slip into one of the 2021 Kia Sorrentos available on our lot, starting at $32,680.
Discover why Kia drivers throughout the area come to Lion Country Kia or visit online at lioncountrykia.com.
Introducing the new dusted Ghost Pepper at Quaker Steak and Lube. 11,700 SHUs of fire dusted on award-winning wings. Try it, or are you afraid of the heat?
I'm here with Keith Goon Conlon, and you've got a little trip you're cooking up for August. Tell us about it.
So we got 4 or 5 ex-football players, Shane Conlon, myself, Troy Drayton, Justin Kirpakis, and Mike Maudie. We're going to go down to Barbados, leave from different airports, 5 days, 4 nights. We've got to get our skills ready to go for the football season, so what better way to do it than down in Barbados?
People come along on this trip, what are they going to be doing down there?
Very laid-back atmosphere. We're going to have golfing trips, fishing trips, and then at night, the days are very, very chill, and then at nighttime there'll be cocktail parties and, old viewings of old football games from Penn State. You might be watching the 87 Fiesta Bowl, the 95 Rose Bowl, a private viewing for all the people who are on the trip of Saving Your Roar, which is the 2012 team documentary. So the biggest thing is that it's 100% refundable. LionsLegendsTravels.com. Everything is on there. It's $19.95 a person. There's multiple airports, so check in.
Good stuff, Goon. Lions Legends Travel. Check it out.
He's not getting that car in there.
No, sir.
Hey, look at these two troublemakers.
Johnny, how are you?
Wicked car. Is that new?
Yeah, it's a Sonata. Let me park it.
Oh, you're not fitting your car in there.
Chris, stop being a smarty pants, all right? Look who's got Smart Park. Even Bruiser can park it. Just hit the clicker. I can park it anywhere.
Beaver Stadium?
Parked it.
Even the Jordan Center?
Parked it.
Even Medler Field?
Even Bruiser parked it.
Hey, you can't park there.
He's got Smart Park.
Wicked smart.
Blaze Alexander Hyundai. It's wicked smart.